Good morning and welcome to the Daily Cyber Briefing for Tuesday, the 26th of August. I'm Stephen Ridgway. Where's August going? Blimey. Okay, so a major supermarket chain in France has been subject to a breach that has resulted in the loss of vast amounts of data associated with loyalty accounts. Several 100,000 of its customers' data has been exposed in this. So the supermarket in question, I don't know how you pronounce it in French, but in English you would say Auchan, Auchan. It is one of the larger supermarket chains in France. So, as always, if you are a customer, which of course lots of people in the UK will be, and obviously some of our French customers may well also, probably almost definitely will be customers. Bear in mind that the loyalty card information has been leaked. So expect the usual stuff, phishing emails targeted to known customers. At the moment, the retailer says that bank data, passwords, PIN numbers, and so on have not been breached. So most likely the outcome from this will be an uptick in fraud, attempted fraud, phishing, smishing, you name it, the usual sort of stuff that you get. The French Data Protection Authority has been notified and is doing the usual stuff. But definitely one to be aware of if you use that particular supermarket chain. There has been a surge in coordinated scans targeting Microsoft RDP authentication servers. In an article in Bleeping Computer that references research from Grey Noise. Grey Noise being an internet intelligence organization. There has been, they're not seeing a lot of this. They've seen a coordinated attack on nearly around 2,000 IP addresses, which, although it sounds like quite a large number on the scale of how many RDP servers there are out there, it's not that many. However, what the researchers point out is that they normally see like 3 to 5 IP addresses a day performing this sort of scanning. They're now seeing like 2,000 or so. So that is definitely something to be aware of. If your RDP servers are accessible to the internet, definitely double check that your controls, your security technical controls and your visibility controls around those are where they should be. The current attacks, or the current targets, appear to be US based. It's almost definitely reconnaissance, which will most likely lead to an uptick in actual compromise or attempted compromise later on. So it looks like it's information gathering right now. If you are running RDP portals, a very strong recommendation to put them behind VPNs. Just don't make them available to people who shouldn't be able to use them. There have been historically too many vulnerabilities in this arena for you to be comfortable just putting this stuff directly out on the internet. And yes, okay, you can say, well, it's something that's been heavily targeted in the past has probably been fixed, yeah, but just by the nature of the beast, it is going to, I think, always be prone to the sorts of vulnerabilities that you're fixed now, but you don't know what's about to come around the corner. So if you're running RDP servers, be aware. There are organisations currently searching you out. Look out for potential attempted compromise in the future, but in the meantime, look to see whether architecturally you can improve your security or whether you can put at least better visibility around what's going on. And then finally from me today, this is back into the bucket of government overreach. However, this time looking at things through the other lens. So the FTC chairman in the US has told the tech giants to hold out on demands by what they define as foreign governments for these backdoors into encryption. Sorry, not very articulate this morning. You can tell it's been a bank holiday. So the FTC's Federal Trade Commission warned tech companies to hold the line when it comes to foreign governments cracking down on encryption. Now, the UK is swept up in this. Specifically, they're talking about the European Union's Digital Services Act and the UK's Online Safety Act and Investigatory Powers Act. He has warned US tech giants that misguided international regulatory requirements potentially violate Section 5 of the FTC Act in a myriad of ways, as it says, most of which involve deceiving customers. So as he puts it, if a company promises consumers that it encrypts or otherwise keeps secure online communications but adopts a weaker security due to the actions of a foreign government, such conduct may deceive customers who rightfully expect effective security, not the increased susceptibility to breach or intercept desired by a foreign power. So this is an interesting twist. As we were aware, the UK authorities lent on Apple earlier this year. Apple then withdrew some of the more advanced protections on iOS, macOS, iCloud, and so on and so forth devices. There is now some support coming out of the States for not allowing that. Now, you can see the point, right? So although you would think that the UK and the US are allies, from a US perspective, these are still actions of a foreign government. And as we've seen, the current regime in the States has a different view of what they think their allies should or shouldn't be doing. And are taking a much more robust and pro-US view on these things. Now, US legislation in this arena does not line up well with European view on what governments should or shouldn't be doing. My personal view, as I'm sure you're all aware of, is that government overreach is very worrying. And I think that in Europe, we have historically had a tendency for authoritarian regimes to do things that in other parts of the world, other parts of the free world, would be considered unacceptable. So we'll have to see, and we're going to keep an eye on this and see where this goes. But I think it is certainly something that is an interesting twist in this particular saga of what the government can or can't enforce on, certainly on foreign entities. Okay, that's all from me for today. Hope you have a good start to the week. If you're in the UK, hope you had a good bank holiday weekend. There will be no briefing tomorrow morning. However, there will be back again on Wednesday.